Let me move on to the debt. This issue will continue. So will the issue over the debt. And Senator Cruz, House Republicans have taken a step back on this debt ceiling standoff. Should it be raised? This is how the New York Times described it over the weekend. I'll put it up on the screen and have you react to it. Backing down from their hardline stance, House Republicans said Friday they would agree to lift the federal government's statutory borrowing limit for 3 months with a requirement that both chambers of Congress pass a budget in that time to clear the way for negotiations on long-term deficit reduction. To add muscle to their efforts to bring Senate Democrats to the table, House Republicans will include a provision in the debt ceiling legislation that says lawmakers will not be paid if they do not pass a budget blueprint. Was it the right thing to step back from challenging the president over raising the debt ceiling?
Well, I think the House proposal is the step in the right direction. There is no doubt the Senate hadn't done its job. It's been nearly 4 years since it's passed a budget, and the Senate should pass a budget. But it doesn't go nearly far enough. We have a crisis. I'll tell you, I just got back last week from Afghanistan, and I had multiple servicemen and women clasp me on the arm and say, please do something about the debt and deficit. We're bankrupting the country. That's what the American people are looking for. And to date, politicians from both parties have been unwilling to take even a tiny step in the right direction. We got to fix the problem.
The Senate's got to pass a budget. Do you believe
Yes,
that?
I do. And let me just
Why
say
has it
this.
been 4 years
First,
since
well,
you've done
let me
it?
answer that. Let me first answer this. This was a major victory for the president. The Republicans now have twice lost out on fiscal issues in the last month, first fiscal cliff and this. And I think they're losing ground on fiscal issues. On the debt ceiling, it made no sense to risk the full faith and credit of the United States for whatever agenda you have. The business community felt that, the public felt that, and so the fact that they have backed off both, not only the idea that we should hold debt ceiling hostage, but second, that it shouldn't be one-for-one cuts. You know, Boehner used to say that. The House proposal doesn't say that. $1 in cutting for every $1 in raising the debt ceiling.
But would you support a short-term measure that would force you to pass a budget?
I think it should be longer because we don't want to play fiscal cliff every 3 months, but it's a positive step. On the budget.
There are always spending reform provisions that you never get a clean debt ceiling raise.
Yes, you should.
That's not a question of whether you should, but historically has not been the case.
Mitch McConnell proposed it 2 years ago, and we passed it. So they should. But let me just say this on the budget. We Democrats have always intended to do a budget this year for 2 reasons. First, it is not true that we haven't had budget control in effect over the last several years. The Budget Control Act of 2011 put rigid spending cuts that were in effect last year. We cut $1 trillion. We didn't like it. It was much more a Republican-type proposal than ours. In effect, it expires this year. So we need a budget. But second, it's going to be a great opportunity for us because in our budget that we will pass, we will have tax reform, which many of my Republican colleagues like, but it's going to include revenues. It's a great opportunity to get us some more revenues to help, in part, deal with sequestration and deal with the
Senator
debt issue.
Schumer, and I want